Good morning, students. Welcome to our online class. This is your third period, and the subject is social science. Students, I begin the day with a thought. So, today's thought for the day, here it goes. Trust is the base of any relationship. Trust is the base of any relationship. Always be careful before doing any little act. Always be careful before doing any little act, because just missing the letter T, just missing T will rust relationship. I repeat once again. Trust is the base of any relationship. Always be careful before doing any little act, because just missing the letter T can rust relationship. Good morning. So this is the thought for the day. Now coming back to our class. Students, today I am taking up geography part. From geography, today I am taking chapter 6, that is manufacturing industries. So this chapter we are going to start today. Here you may get doubt, sir, what about chapter 5? Chapter 5 with the title that is Minerals and Energy Resources. Minerals and Energy Resources, that is chapter 5 in geography. So my dear students, I want to inform you, this chapter will not be assessed. This chapter will not be assessed either in the periodic test or in board examinations. So theoretically, from the chapter 5 minerals and energy resources, nothing will be asked in the school periodic test and also in the board examinations. Only the board is given that from that chapter or from this chapter only map pointing questions will be asked. So coming to map pointing, I will teach you that one after finishing the remaining 2 chapters of geography. So that's why I am taking up chapter 6, that is manufacturing industries. Now students, you tell me, what is meant by manufacturing? What is meant by manufacturing? What does it mean? Any idea? Yes. Whenever the raw materials are processed and converted into some valuable items, whenever the raw materials are being processed and converted into some valuable items, valuable goods, then we can say that process of converting raw materials into valuable goods, generally we can call it as manufacturing. This process of manufacturing generally done at factories, industries. In earlier days, this manufacturing activity is also done at our home. Till date also, so small scale industries are there, cottage industries are there. So there they are doing at home. That's also there. The process is called manufacturing. The place is called firms, industries, factories, even our house also. So today we will read about the manufacturing. Okay, listen. This year, one more thing. Students, I have sent you the model paper. I have sent you which is issued by CBSE for the session 2020 and 21. Tomorrow we will discuss that one. If time is there, tomorrow we will discuss that one. What type of questions are there? You might have gone through that one. Those who have not gone through, please today, you please go through that one so that you can understand what type of questions they are asking. So unless and until the students will be thorough with the test, thorough with the textbook, the content, line to line, he cannot attempt the exam. Reading question answers is waste. Have grip over the textbook chapters, lesson, line to line. Fine. Now, manufacturing industry chapter 6. On the occasion of Diwali, Harish went to a market with his parents. Now Dasara is coming. After the Diwali will come. So on the occasion of Diwali, Harish, a boy, a student, went to a market along with his parents. They purchased shoes and clothes for him. I mean, parents of Harish have purchased shoes and clothes for him. His mother, Harish's mother, purchased utensils. Okay, utensils used for cooking. Utensils, sugar, tea, and diyas. Here, diya means what? Earthen lamps which you are using during Diwali time. Diya, earthen lamps. Harish observed that the shops in the market were flooded with items for sale. Diwali season. Each shop is flooded with so many items for sale. He wondered, Harish wondered, Ashcharya wondered how so many items could be made. How these items could be made, these many items. Okay, in such large quantities, how these items were made, where they were made, who made them. Number of questions took place in the mind of Harish. How these goods, how these items were manufactured, where they were manufactured, who manufactured them, what are the things necessary for manufacturing these items, and how this bulk of quantities were manufactured. These questions were developed in the mind of Harish. His father explained. Naturally, whenever the son will have questions, definitely will approach his father. He might have approached his father. So his father explained that shoes, clothes, sugar, etc. are manufactured by machines in large industries. Shoes at home also we can prepare, handmade, with the help of some tools. But here what I am telling, his father explained that shoes and clothes, sugar, etc. these items are manufactured by machines in large industries. Similarly, some utensils are manufactured, some utensils were manufactured in small industries. I mean, here two things. Some are manufactured in large industries. Some items are manufactured in small industries. While the items like diyas, earthen lamps, the items like diyas are made by individual artisans. Here individual artisans, artisans, skilled workers. Here artisans means what? The skilled people who are making the craft items. Skilled people who are making the craft items. So some individuals, they prepared these earthen lamps, at household industry. That means small scale industry, household. Large industries, small scale industries, household industries. So three industries you came to know here. Shoes, clothes, sugar, large industries. Utensils, small industries. Earthen lamps, household industry. Artisans, a skilled worker who is making craft items. A skilled worker who is making craft items is called artisan. Carpenter, weaver. A carpenter, weaver, blacksmith, goldsmith. All these are what? Artisans. Okay, now, do you have some ideas about these industries? The question asked. I will explain the different types of industries: large scale industries, small scale industries, household industries. So, in this chapter, we are going to read. So, what are large scale industries, large industries? What are small industries? What are household industries? Which industry can be called as large scale industry? Which industry can be called as small scale industry? Which industry can be called as household industry? So, these questions answers are there in this chapter. Okay, now we will go one by one. Okay, that large scale industries, small scale, etc. So, before that, listen. Production of goods in large quantities. Production of goods. I will producing goods in large quantities. Production of goods in large quantities after processing. After processing from raw materials. I told you, raw materials are collected from the nature. Raw materials are collected from the nature. And these raw materials, they are processed. They are being processed. So, production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials to more valuable products is called manufacturing. Underline these three lines. What is manufacturing? Got your answer here. Students, you got your answer here from the textbook. Yes. Production of goods in large quantities. Production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials to more valuable products. I mean, whenever the raw materials are collected, utilized, and processed, after processing, if they are converted into valuable products or valuable goods, then that process is called what? Manufacturing. What we are going to read. I told you where this process took place. That place is called industry or factory. If it took place in house, that's called household industry. Now, do you know that the paper which you are using, is manufactured from what? Wood. The paper which you are using in your daily life, the paper is manufactured from what? Wood. The soft wood, oak trees. Even paper is made up of from grass, rusa grass. One grass is there. Even paper also manufactured with the help of what? That bamboo sticks. So bamboo sticks are cut into small pieces. They are being crushed, converted into pulp. Similarly, oak trees are converted into wood. So converted into small pieces of wood. They are being crushed and made into wood pulp. And the pulp is used to prepare what? Paper. So the paper which you are using today is manufactured with the help of wood. Similarly, sugar which you are using in tea, coffee and all sweets, the sugar is also manufactured from sugarcane, a crop, sugarcane, ganna in Hindi you are calling. Similarly, iron and steel is manufactured from what? Iron ore, and aluminium is from bauxite. So, do you also know that some types of clothes are manufactured from yarn? Yarn is what? Thread. Here yarn. Yarn is what? Thread. You know cotton. Cotton is grown. Cotton is a crop. So after growing cotton, the cotton is used to make what? Yarn. Preparing yarn. With the help of cotton, you are making what? Yarn. And from yarn, you are making what? Cloth. From cloth, you are making what? Clothes. This is the process. From cotton to yarn, yarn to clothes, yarn to cloth, cloth to clothes. So, do you also know some types of clothes are manufactured from yarn, which itself is an industrial product? Now, People employed, Nagarnar steel plant is there. Who are working there? People. In all factories, in all industries, people are working. They're running the machines. So people employed in the secondary activities. This sentence is very, very important. Students, you please underline and listen carefully. People employed in the secondary activities. Primary activities means agriculture, allied activities. If people are engaged in mining, raw material processing, extraction of raw materials, fishing, dairy farming, hunting, food gathering, they comes under primary. So here what I'm telling here, people employed in the secondary activities, manufacturing the primary raw materials into finished goods. The workers employed in steel factories, the workers employed in car industries, beverage, soft drinks, beverage, textile industries, bakeries, etc. fall in this category. They fall in what? They fall in what? Secondary activities. I repeat once again. What are secondary activities? See, people employed in the secondary activities manufacture. What they'll manufacture? Some items, some goods. How they'll manufacture? With the help of primary materials, raw materials. The place where the raw materials are being processed and converted into valuable items is called factory industry, that you know. And the people who are engaged in that activities are called secondary. Their people are engaged in secondary sector. Okay, or I guess they are engaged in secondary activities. So people employed in the secondary activities manufacture the primary raw materials or primary materials into what? Finished goods. What are secondary activities? Secondary activities are those activities where primary materials are manufactured, converted into finished goods. That's called secondary activities. Workers who are employed in steel industries. Okay, steel industries who are engaged in car manufacturing, beverages, soft and hard drinks. Okay, textile industries, bakeries, etc. fall in the category of secondary sector. If your parents are working in these areas, they comes under secondary sector. Suppose if my father is working as a farmer, agriculturist, he falls in primary activity worker. Now, fall in this category. Some people are employed in providing services. Similarly, there are some people who are always employed in what? Providing some services. For example, doctor, engineer, teacher, lawyer. Okay, they are engaged in nurse. They are engaged in providing services. So people who are engaged in providing services, are comes under our service sector. In this chapter, we mainly consider with the manufacturing industries only. We will not go to service sector. We will only confine to manufacturing industry, which fall in secondary sector. So manufacturing always comes under dash sector. This is one MCQ question. Manufacturing always comes under dash sector, secondary sector. Manufacturing comes under which sector? Secondary sector. Now very, very important. One question will be asked. The question I am reading here. Listen the question. Yes. Describe the importance of manufacturing. Describe the importance of manufacturing. This question. Or else I can say, describe the importance of manufacturing sector in countries like India. This question. So for this question, the answer is starting now in the textbook. Listen carefully. So describe the importance of manufacturing. The answer is like this. First you are write like this. The economic strength of a country, is measured by the development of manufacturing industries. For any country's economic strength is always measured, always assessed by the development of manufacturing industries. Suppose in any country, if if manufacturing industry or industries are more well developed, advanced, then we can say that country is economically developed. So the economic strength of any country can be assessed, can be measured with the help of manufacturing industries. Suppose in a country more industries are there, suppose in any country more industries are there, then we can say that country is economically developed. So the economic strength of any country, any nation is always depends upon the manufacturing industry. Now, after writing this sentence, now write point wise importance of manufacturing. Importance of manufacturing. Now, under that you have to write like this. Manufacturing sector is considered the backbone of development in general and economic development in particular. Manufacturing sector is considered as the backbone of development for any country and economic development also. So here it is a backbone of development in general and economic development in particular. What? Manufacturing. So you may be asking blanks. Dash is considered. You can frame like this. You can frame underline. Dash is considered the backbone of development in general and economic development in particular. That answer is what? Manufacturing sector. Now, first importance. Manufacturing industries not only help in modernizing agriculture, which forms the backbone of our economy, they also reduce the heavy dependence of people on agriculture income by providing them jobs in secondary and tertiary sectors. That means, manufacturing sector helps in modernizing agriculture. Manufacturing sector always helps in modernizing the agriculture. First one. In the same, it also helps in reducing the pressure on agriculture employment. Suppose if industries are less or not there, then more people will depend upon what? Agriculture. There will be heavy population pressure on what? Agriculture. But here what happened? When industries were started, when manufacturing was started, then what happened? It reduced the burden, the population pressure on agriculture. Okay, so first it is helping in modernizing the agriculture, reducing the population pressure on agriculture, providing employment to people in both manufacturing sector and secondary and tertiary sector. Okay, like this. Next one, I can say you understood. Here, main thing is it helps in manufacturing. It helps in what? Manufacturing. First, it helps in manufacturing. Manufacturing helping in what? Agriculture. Modernizing agriculture. Second one, reducing population pressure on agriculture. Reducing population pressure on agriculture. Providing employment. Providing employment to the people, both in what? This secondary sector and tertiary sector. Now, industrial development is a precondition for eradication of employment. People says if more and more industries are there, then it helps in what? Reducing unemployment. It helps in reducing unemployment. That means manufacturing sector will reduce unemployment by providing employment. So industrial development is a precondition for eradication of unemployment and poverty from our country. That means manufacturing will reduce unemployment. When unemployment is reduced, naturally it will reduce poverty also. This was the main philosophy behind public sector industries. That's why government established many public sector industries like BHEL, BHPV, NMDC, etc. etc. Okay, this was the main philosophy behind public sector industries and joint ventures in India. It was also aimed at bringing down regional disparities by establishing industries in tribal and backward areas. By establishing industries in tribal areas and also backward areas, we can reduce regional disparities. We can achieve balanced industrial development. Suppose those areas which are where there is no industries, which are backward tribal areas, if you set up industries in those areas, then naturally what will happen? You can achieve balanced industrial development. You reduce regional imbalances. Next one. Exports of manufactured goods expands trade and commerce. When you establish more and more industries, naturally production also will take place more goods you will produce. When more goods you will produce, more exports you will do. More exports you will do, then the trade and commerce will increase. When trade and commerce will increase, you will get more income. And it brings in much needed foreign exchange. That's why when you produce more and more goods through manufacturing, when you export more and more goods, you will get a lot of foreign exchange. Next one. Countries that transform the raw materials into a wide variety of finished goods of higher value are prosperous. Those countries where raw materials are available abundantly, if those raw materials are transformed, processed in the factories and industries and converted into valuable goods, such countries are always prosperous, developed. India's prosperity lies in increasing and diversifying its manufacturing industries as quickly as possible. Okay, so we have learned the importance of manufacturing. I will repeat once again. Listen carefully. Economic strength of a country lies in the development of manufacturing industries because manufacturing industries helps in modernizing agriculture, which forms the backbone of our economy. It reduces heavy dependence on what? People on agriculture sector and creates job opportunities in secondary and tertiary sectors. It is necessary for removal of unemployment and poverty. It brings down the regional disparities. Exports of manufacturing goods expands the trade and commerce, which brings what? Foreign exchange, prosperity to the country. It brings much in needed foreign exchange. So this is about what? Importance of manufacturing. Now coming down. Agriculture and industry. This is another question. Another important question. How agriculture and industry are complementary to each other? How do agriculture and industry are complementary to each other, related to each other? Very important question this is. Very, very important question. Listen carefully. Agriculture and industry are not exclusive to each other. They are not separate from each other. Agriculture and industry, they are not exclusive to each other. They are complementary to each other, linked with each other, related to each other. Okay. For example, the fertilizers which are needed in agriculture are manufactured in secondary sector. The pipes, the PVC pipes, the pipelines which are needed in agriculture for irrigation are manufactured in secondary sector. The motors, pump sets which are needed in agriculture are manufactured in secondary sector. Okay. So, agriculture and industry are not exclusive to each other, but they are complementary to each other, related to each other. Okay. They move hand in hand. Both agriculture and industry, they move hand in hand. For instance, I'll tell you, I'm giving an example. How agriculture and industry both are complementary to each other, they move hand to hand. For example, the agro industries. Here agro is what? Agricultural based industries. What are agro based industries? Those industries which depends upon agriculture for the necessary raw materials are called agro based industries. So the agro industries in India, the agricultural based industries in India have given a major boost to agriculture. When you establish more and more agro based industries in India, naturally farmers what they'll do? They'll grow more and more. They'll do more and more agriculture to provide the raw materials for that agro-based industries. To provide the necessary raw materials for those agro-based industries. So what is it here? The agro-based industries in India have given a major boost to agriculture by raising its productivity. They depend on the latter for raw materials. Agro-based industries are depending upon agriculture for the necessary raw materials. What are agro-based industries? Agro-based industries are those industries Generally, agro-based means agricultural based. Agro-based, agricultural based. So, agro-based industries are those industries which are depending upon agriculture for the necessary raw materials. Hence, the farmers are doing more and more agriculture in order to feed the raw materials to the agro-based industries. They depend upon the latter for raw materials and sell their products as such as irrigation pumps, actually PVC pumps, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, plastic and PVC pipes, machines, tools, etc. All these are needed in agricultural sector, in agriculture, and these are manufactured in secondary sector. That means both agricultural sector and industry, both are complemented each other, both are related to each other, but both are not exclusive to each other. Thus, development and competitiveness. Okay. Thus, development and competitiveness, I can say, of manufacturing industry has not only assisted agriculturists in increasing their production, but also made the production processes very efficient. I mean, this manufacturing have made agriculture more efficient. Manufacturing has made this agriculture more efficient, I can say. Okay. Now, in the present day world of globalization, globalization started from 1992. Globalization, integration of world markets. This globalization was started in 1992. 1990s it was started. So in the present day world of globalization, our industry needs to be more efficient and more competitive. Today we are living in the age of globalization. Students, I repeat, today we all live in the age of globalization. And when we are living in the age of globalization, our industry should be more efficient and more competitive. Otherwise, we cannot compete with the world market. Self-sufficiency alone is not enough. Self-sufficiency is alone not enough. Our manufactured goods must be at par in quality with those in the international market. Whatever goods we are producing, manufacturing in our country, India, in industries or factories, these goods should compete in the world market. These goods should compete with other country goods. So our manufacturing sector should be more efficient and more competitive. Otherwise, you cannot compete with the world market, world goods, other countries' goods. Only then, when we are able to compete with other country goods, only then will be able to compete in the international market. Now, coming to next topic, that is contribution of industry to national economy. Contribution of industry to the national economy. This topic we will continue tomorrow. Contribution of industry to national economy. Contribution of industry to our national economy. So means what the industrial sector, what the manufacturing sector is contributing to our national economy, to our country's GDP, to our national income. That will continue tomorrow. So students, today you understood what I spoke. 3 important questions I have covered. So read them. Read the textbook once again. Textbook reading is very, very important, because this time in the board exam, source based questions are given more. Source based questions. Okay. So thank you. Take care.